Apply this oil to your legs and you'll be surprised by the results in just 7 days. I want to ask you something gentle, but real. Have you ever stood up from your favorite chair and felt like your legs didn't want to come with you? Not because of sharp pain, but because they were heavy, slow, like wet laundry, clinging to your bones. You look down, maybe give them a second. You whisper, "Come on now." And then you shuffle forward, careful, cautious, wondering if this is what life feels like after 70. You used to move with ease. Remember that grocery shopping, walking to the garden, climbing that porch step without thinking. Now, it's different. The ache lingers. The sleep is shallow. The legs feel like strangers. If this sounds familiar, I want you to know something important. You're not broken. You're not alone. And more than anything, this isn't the end of your strength. In fact, something as small and simple as a bottle in your kitchen might just help you begin again. No, really. Not a pill. Not a new prescription. Just an old forgotten friend with a gentle scent, warm hands, and surprising power. Let's walk through this together one small step at a time. You deserve to feel light again, and I'm here to show you how. Part 1. The Quiet Decline. No one warned you about? Let me introduce you to someone I think you might know. Her name's Judith. She's 69, lives in Missouri, still bakes the best peach cobbler you'll ever taste, and refuses to let anyone else carve the Thanksgiving turkey. But lately, she's noticed something strange. It started quietly a dull, dragging feeling behind her knees when she stood up after dinner, then swelling around her ankles by evening, even on days when she hardly left the house. Her legs just felt tired, not tired like I need a nap, tired like these don't belong to me anymore. At first, Judith brushed it off. She told herself it was just part of getting older. Her doctor nodded, said, "Keep walking, maybe try compression socks." So she did. But nothing really changed. In fact, things got harder. Now, even walking to the mailbox makes her hesitate. She's worried about falling. Sleep broken up every night by leg cramps, or a strange buzzing in her calves. She used to dance around the kitchen while waiting for her coffee. Now she just stands still, holding the counter. And that's where many of you, maybe even you, find yourselves. Let me explain what's happening underneath the surface. You see? After 60, circulation in the legs begins to slow, not dramatically, not all at once, but subtly day after day. The tiny valves in your veins that used to push blood back up toward your heart, they don't snap shut as tightly anymore. Gravity starts winning. Fluids begin to pool. Blood moves sluggishly. And without enough oxygen, your muscles get cranky stiff, sore, and stubborn. The lymph system, your body's natural drain pipe, also loses its rhythm. Waste builds up. Inflammation settles in. And with less movement, your leg muscles shrink quietly, slowly, like a light fading out. The medical term is venous insufficiency, but I prefer to call it what it really is: a silent change no one warned you about. Now, I know this sounds heavy, but don't worry, we're not staying here. Because what Judith didn't know, and what you might not know either, is that your legs still want to work. They're still listening, still responding, still capable. They just need a little help, a little love, and something surprisingly simple. So, what changed for Judith? It started with a small bottle tucked behind her olive oil. Let's go there next. Part 2. The Forgotten Bottle That Changed Everything. Judith didn't set out to fix her legs that Tuesday afternoon. She wasn't searching for a cure. She was just cleaning out her spice cabinet, something she hadn't done in years. You know how those projects start. One jar of cinnamon leads to another, and before she knew it, she was knee-deep in bottles and memories, and then there it was. A tiny glass bottle tucked behind the old paprika. Dusty label. Faded writing, rosemary oil. She held it in her hand, squinting at it like an old friend she hadn't seen in years. Didn't I buy this for sore muscles? She wondered aloud. She almost tossed it, but something stopped her. That night, when her legs were aching, again, swollen, stiff, she remembered the bottle. Judith sat down, poured a few drops into her palm, and rubbed her hands together. The scent rose first herbal, earthy, familiar. It reminded her of her grandmother's kitchen, the chicken soup, the Sunday roasts, the smell of comfort. She gently massaged it into her calves, moving in slow, small circles. No rush, no pressure, just touch and breath. And then something happened. Not a miracle, not fireworks, just a soft warmth, a tingling, like her legs were waking up from a long nap. That night, for the first time in weeks, she slept straight through. No cramps, no tossing, just sleep. The next morning, her legs still ached, but less, a little less, enough to feel possible. Now, let's pause here. Because what Judith did and what happened next isn't just about scent or routine, it's about science. Rosemary oil contains compounds like rosmarinic acid and cineole. These natural chemicals do three important things. They increase blood flow, reduce inflammation, and relax muscle tissue. In simple terms, they help tired legs feel alive again. And it's not new. Ancient Greek and Roman healers used rosemary oil for exactly this reason to treat aching joints, tired limbs, and poor circulation. It's been with us for centuries. We just forgot. Judith rediscovered it by accident. But what she really found was a key to reconnect with her body. And here's what I love most. It wasn't a pill. It wasn't a new diagnosis. It was a bottle, a moment, and a little faith in something gentle. I believe every person over 60 deserves that kind of moment, and I want you to have it too. But there's something more powerful than the oil itself. It's how you use it and why. Let's talk about that next. Part 3. Touch that heals and what your legs have been waiting for. Judith kept using the oil. Not because she expected a miracle, but because something about that first night felt different. So, the next morning, after her shower, she sat down again. She warmed the bottle between her palms. She breathed in the scent, and she started to massage, slowly, intentionally, like she was saying, "I see you," to the parts of her body she'd ignored for too long. She started at the ankles light, circular strokes moving up her calves. Not hard, not fast, just steady, kind, patient. She paused behind the knees, that tender spot where fluid often builds. Then upward again, toward her thighs, where the bigger muscles had grown tight from disuse. It wasn't just physical, Judith told me later. It felt like I was remembering something, like my body hadn't given up on me. I just stopped listening. I want to pause here because this part matters more than you think. Massage isn't just about muscles. It's about connection. When you touch your own legs, not in passing, but with real attention, your body responds. Blood flow increases. Lymphatic drainage improves. Nerves begin to calm. And maybe most powerful of all, your brain releases oxytocin, the love hormone That's right. Your body responds to loving touch, even from yourself, especially from yourself. It's like your legs have been quietly asking, do you still care about me? And for the first time in years, your answer is, yes, I do. In my practice, I've had patients cry the first time they did this, not because of pain, but because they realized how long they'd been treating their legs like machines and how badly those legs had missed being treated like part of them. And here's a bonus tip from Judith that I now recommend to others. As you massage, sync your breath with your movement. Inhale through the nose as you begin a stroke. Exhale through the mouth as you finish it. This turns the moment into more than a task. It becomes a ritual. 5 minutes per leg, that's all it takes. And friend, 5 minutes of love can go a long, long way. Next, I'll show you exactly how to make this a powerful part of your daily rhythm and how to adjust it to your needs, your schedule, and your body's whispers. Because this isn't just self-care, it's self-remembering. And your legs, they've been waiting. Part 4, creating a daily ritual. 1 drop, 1 breath, 1 act of care. If there's one thing I want you to take from this video, it's this: you don't need a fancy routine to feel better. You just need a rhythm. Judith found hers slowly, but it stuck. And now I want to share it with you. She started by picking 2 times a day that felt quiet and calm. Morning right after her warm shower. An evening just before bed, when the house was still and the day was done. That warm water from the shower. It helps open the pores, relaxes the muscles, makes the skin more welcoming to the oil. But if you skip a shower, don't worry. Just make sure your legs are clean and dry. That's enough. Judith would hold the little bottle in her hands first, not rushing, letting it warm up a bit. Sometimes she'd place it next to a warm washcloth for a few seconds. Then she'd pour about 5 or 6 drops into her palm. Rub her hands together slowly. Breathe in. The scent rosemary, earth. Life was her signal. This is your time now, she'd whisper to herself. She started at the ankles, using slow circles upward. No hard pressure. No digging into sore spots. Just firm, kind, upward strokes like coaxing life back into her legs. Up the calves, behind the knees, along the shins and thighs. Her hands moved like they knew something her mind had forgotten, that her legs had carried her through decades, through holidays, losses, weddings, falls, laughter, and they still deserved to be treated like they mattered. Each leg took her about 6 minutes, 10, if she felt like lingering, and sometimes she did. Because this wasn't just about the oil anymore. It was about presence, about choosing stillness in a noisy world, about letting her hands say, "You're safe, you're supported." She'd end with a soft breath, and sometimes a short prayer or gratitude. Then she'd sit quietly with her feet propped up on 2 pillows for just 15 minutes, not scrolling on her phone, not distracted, just resting. Letting gravity reverse for a moment. Some nights, she added a warm towel over her legs after massaging, letting the heat help the oil sink deeper. But honestly, the real magic wasn't in the towel, or even the oil. It was in the care. And care, my friend, changes everything. Up next, I want to share what Judith began noticing after just 1 week, day by day, shift by shift, and how you can start looking for those signs too. Because change doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. Part 5, what happens in 7 days? The soft return of strength. Change doesn't always come with a bang. Sometimes it tiptoes in. That's what Judith discovered. On day 1, she didn't feel stronger, but she felt something even more important present. For the first time in months, she slowed down. She touched her legs. She breathed with intention. That alone brought peace. By day 2, she noticed her legs didn't resist when she stood up. The stiffness was still there but softer. Day 3 surprised her. She walked through the kitchen and realized she wasn't shuffling. Her steps felt smoother, more confident. She didn't need to grab the counter. She didn't even think about it. By day 4, the swelling had eased. Her skin, once dry and tight, looked healthier. Her legs weren't just working better, they looked alive again. On the 5th and 6th days, something else bloomed confidence. She walked a little taller, took the stairs without holding the railing. She smiled more, slept deeper, even caught herself humming again. And on day 7, she paused. She looked down at her legs, the same ones she'd been frustrated with for years, and felt something she hadn't in a long time. Gratitude. Not because they were perfect, but because they were still hers, and they were trying, just like she was. Friend. Your legs, remember how to feel light again? Sometimes, all they need is a little love, a little oil, and one quiet week. Now, if Rosemary isn't the perfect match for you, that's okay. Let's look at a few other natural options your body might love even more. Part 6, Other Oils. Your legs might love even more. Rosemary worked beautifully for Judith, but every body is different. Some legs ask for something gentler, others something deeper. If your legs bruise easily or swell after standing, arnica oil may be your match. It's been used for centuries to calm sore muscles and reduce inflammation. Helen, 75, sells fruit at the farmer's market, and long hours on her feet left her knees aching. Arnica helped her feel strong again fast. Now, if your biggest struggle is sleep, especially from leg tension or cramping, try lavender oil. The scent alone can quiet a restless mind. But when massaged in, it relaxes tight muscles and soothes frayed nerves. It's not just for rest, it's for relief. And for those dealing with poor circulation or visible veins, there's horse chestnut oil. This one's a favorite in European medicine. It strengthens blood vessel walls and eases that heavy, dragging sensation in the lower legs. You don't have to pick just one. Many people blend a few drops of each into a gentle base oil like almond or olive and adjust based on how their legs feel that day. Your legs are speaking. These oils just help you hear them. Up next, let's talk about small daily habits that boost everything we've done so far. Because oils are powerful, but they work even better when you move with them. Part 7, Small Daily Habits That Make a Big Difference. Let me tell you something simple, but powerful. The oil does a lot, but your habits, they seal the deal. Judith didn't join a gym. She didn't overhaul her life. She just added 3 tiny things. Each morning, before breakfast, she walked just 10 minutes around the block. No rushing, no Fitbit, just movement and morning air. Then, by the kitchen counter, she did her toe lifts rising up, slowly lowering down, 15 times. That's it. And once or twice a day, she made gentle ankle circles while seated to keep things flowing. At lunch and dinner, she drank a full glass of water, nothing fancy, just hydration. She also cut back a little on salt, especially at night, and every afternoon, during her favorite show, she propped her legs up on 2 pillows, letting gravity help her. For once, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, but it added up. Her swelling went down, her steps steadied, her nights were softer, None of it was hard, but it all felt intentional. And that made all the difference. Next, we'll answer some common questions I get from patients just like you, the kind that help make this simple routine even easier to stick with. Part 8, honest answers to the questions you're probably wondering about. On can see. By now, you might be thinking, is this really for me? Let's walk through it. What if I have varicose veins you can still massage just gently? Use soft, upward strokes. Avoid pressing directly on swollen veins. And elevate your legs afterward for extra support. I'm over 80. Will this still work? Yes. Age doesn't stop your body from responding to care. It may take a little longer, but I've seen 85A and 90-year-olds feel real change in just days. Is this only for women? Not at all. Men struggle with leg swelling, poor circulation, and cramps too. And many are surprised how deeply a few minutes of touch and oil help not just physically, but emotionally. How long should I keep doing it? Start with 7 days. After that, adjust. Some keep going every night. Others switch to a few times a week. Listen to your legs. They'll tell you. What if I don't feel results right away? That's okay. Some changes are slow. But less swelling, easier steps, deeper sleep. Even small wins mean it's working. This isn't magic. It's care. And care, when done with consistency, always makes a difference. Up next, I want to leave you with a reminder, maybe the most important one of all. Let's pause and look back for a moment. You've carried yourself through so much through love, through loss, through decades of life that asked more from your legs than most people will ever know. And maybe over time, you stopped noticing them, or worse, you started resenting them for slowing down, for swelling up, for not feeling like you anymore. But here's what I want you to remember. Your legs haven't given up on you. They're just waiting for warmth, for movement, for a little touch, for a little you. This journey we've talked about, it doesn't require money or medicine or magic. Just care. Just 5 minutes. Just remembering that healing is still possible, even now. So tonight, take a moment, warm your hands, reach for that little bottle, and tell your body I'm still here. I still believe in you, because it's not too late, not to feel lighter, not to sleep deeper, not to trust your steps again. If this video brought you comfort, please share it with someone you love. Maybe they need this hope too. And tell me in the comments what part of this spoke to you. Until next time, walk gently and walk with love.